I have, I have my patrol shotgun and I'd have my pistol, and I think that would be about the extent of my readiness. But I do have, on a more serious note, I have that training as a disaster mitigation specialist. So, I do have, a 72-hour kit available for myself and my family. God forbid we should have a disaster. And it's certainly worth thinking about for my experience as people in the United States. I couldn't tell you, if you live in Mexico City or Toronto or whatever, I wouldn't know those issues. But 90% of Americans live in a part of the country that is likely to see some sort of natural disaster. I don't think that, at least for me in San Antonio, I don't think terrorism is a Osama bin Laden is not going to come blow up the Alamo. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, it's certainly possible, but I don't think that it's likely. And but what is more likely is facing floods, facing hurricanes, mass evacuations of people from coastal areas. If you live in Los Angeles, God help you, those guys are the masters of disaster mitigation, because they see everything from floods and forest fires and earthquakes, and if it's going to happen, Los Angeles is probably where it's going to happen. And as a result, the LAPD is they are sort of they are the guys who will show the rest of us, hey, look, trust me, we've done this before, and so those guys deserve the props there. But in San Antonio, the disaster we're likely to face is a flood. That's primarily where my experience is. Drought would be a prolonged disaster, of course. So the key element, I think, in any function like that would be, what am I likely to face? I don't have to prepare for an earthquake, for instance, because we haven't had an earthquake in San Antonio in 85 million years or something like that. So likewise, we don't have volcanoes or
any nuclear reactors in San Antonio?
No. Well, there are plans for that, but but anyway, the point being, you plan for what you're likely to face, and which seems simplistic, but the fact escapes a lot of people, I think. And so as a result, we started this on the bug out bag, which I've heard people, and I love that term, the bug out bag. What would happen if, here we go, I got it.
So then I shouldn't mention that I have one then.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with it, though. I mean, because being able to take care of yourself and your family, and because even if you did your bug out bag, because you're ready for the zombie apocalypse, well, you're not likely to experience one. I don't think that's going to happen, but you're certainly likely to encounter some sort of pandemic. Flu is a good one, or a bad one, as the case may be. And you're from Atlanta, so you're likely to see floods are a big issue,
which we had a few years ago, absolutely.
Right. And tornadoes would be another one, as we've seen recently. And there are times, when even people who don't care a lick about zombies may have to pick up and be somewhere else for 48 hours or 72 hours. And a bug out bag is, we may start it, because, but, there are very legitimate reasons to have one. And so there's, rather than mock someone for doing one, you're taking care of yourself and your family, you're allowing for that potential of natural disaster. So, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Two more quick questions, and I appreciate the time you've been spending with us, with Dead, Buried, and Back. Big topic here. The World Horror Convention has been publishers and the shrinking amount of bookstores and how hard it is for new novice writers or anybody to get things published. What do you think about self-publishing and ebooks and the like for people that are just getting their foot in the door?
Okay. There was a panel here at the convention 2 days ago, and I thought the panelists involved were some people who I highly respect as writers, and people who know this business incredibly well. That said, I disagree with some of the things that were mentioned there. There has been a huge push towards self-publishing, and there are people who do it exceedingly well, and there are people who are really seeing their careers revitalized, and certainly their bank books revitalized as a result of it. Self-publishing is a wonderful thing. I think for those people who have already established their name and have a backlist of material that they can bring back. That said, there are people who break into publishing from the self-publishing route. J.L. Bourne is a good example. Rhiannon Frater is another example. People who are very talented as writers have put out a solid, well-told story and a well-written story, and they do it well, and they really hump it to get the publicity out there. All of those things, you have to do all of those things if you're going to succeed as a self-published writer. I think